some fun. Tune in late at night or tune in the sun. This is TFM. Get ready to rock. From AM to PM. Come on. Let's talk.
TFM 95.4.
Let's talk.
Live on TFM and the TFM Facebook page. This is the live feed of TTV. Let's talk.
Hello and welcome to the Midday Update. These are the top headlines from our newsroom today. Healthcare provided to all in need in Oman, according to the Minister of Health. Made in Oman campaign to begin on Monday. Oman healthcare sector growing despite challenges, according to Fitch. Pandemic sees low-key Diwali celebrations by expats in the country. A look back at 50 years of Oman's economic progress. Regulating laws for intellectual property rights to help Oman attract investments. Ukrainian Prime Minister urges full implementation of weekend quarantine. US reports record high daily increase of nearly 200,000 coronavirus cases. Philippine President orders quick response to typhoon hit areas. AFC announces dates for World Cup qualifiers. Major League Soccer targeting early match start for 2021 season. These were the top headlines of the day. Let's see how the weather looks like in the Sultanate in our weather update.
I'm Mantra Bose with your daily dose of weather. We're standing outside the TFM studio in Al Khair and it's a nice and cloudy day today. We've got more weather updates coming your way, but first the weather facts. Hurricane Irma was a record-breaking hurricane. It sustained winds of 185 miles per hour for almost 37 hours. That was our fact for today. Now we'll step inside the studio and we've got a little bit more on weather. A weather alert has been issued by Oman Meteorology and Public Authority for Civil Aviation, indicating poor visibility during rain and fog. Apart from this, we have clear to partly cloudy skies over governorates of Muscat, Musandam, North Al-Batana, South Al-Batana and also South Al-Sharqiya. There's also possibility of isolated rain over these parts. The rest of the Sultanate will see clear skies with the possibility of late night to early morning low-level clouds or fog patches over the governorates of South Al-Sharqiya, Wusta and Dhofar. With that, let's take a look at what the weather will be like throughout the governorates. Muscat will be partly cloudy with temperatures between 28 degrees Celsius to 24 degrees Celsius. Musandam will be sunny with temperatures between 29 degrees Celsius and 22 degrees Celsius. North Al-Batana will be sunny with temperatures between 27 to 23 degrees Celsius and South Al-Batana will also be sunny with temperatures between 27 to 20 degrees Celsius. Al-Buremi will be sunny with temperatures between 28 to 21 degrees Celsius. Al-Dahira will be sunny with temperatures between 32 and 22 degrees Celsius. And Al-Dakhla will be sunny with temperatures between 30 to 20 degrees Celsius. North Al-Sharqiya will be sunny with temperatures between 31 to 20 degrees Celsius. And South Al-Sharqiya will also be sunny with temperatures between 28 to 22 degrees Celsius. Al-Wusta will be sunny with temperatures between 28 to 20 degrees Celsius. And Dhofar will be sunny with temperatures between 29 to 18 degrees Celsius.
Oman's largest online supermarket now has no minimum order limit. From grocery to household items, Rafiq has everything that you want. Enjoy worry-free shopping with over 8,000 products to choose from and get it delivered straight to your doorstep. Rafiq, you order, we deliver.
Welcome back to TTV. You're watching Midday Update. Before we get into the details of the local stories for the day, let's see how the COVID-19 situation looks like in the Sultanate. The Ministry of Health officials today announced the registration of 12 death cases in Oman due to coronavirus. The number of death cases is counted in the past 72 hours, which has taken the total death toll in the country to 1,338. The Ministry of Health officials also extended their deepest condolences to the families of the deceased. In addition to that, the Ministry of Health has also registered 947 new coronavirus cases once again in the past 72 hours. The total cases in the country have now touched 120,389, including 111,096 recoveries and 1,338 deaths, according to the officials. In the past 72 hours, 1,046 recoveries were also reported. The ministry urged everyone to adhere to social distancing instructions issued by the Supreme Committee and the Ministry of Health. And now from a local desk. Despite the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic in the country, patients in Oman who require medical attention, intensive care in the country's hospitals have not been denied it, the Minister of Health has said. Speaking to TTV ahead of the country's 50th National Day, Dr. Ahmed bin Mohammed Al Saidi, who was also confident the country would provide care to all those who require it in the future as well. This pandemic has shown everybody how strong our healthcare system is. We have been going for the last 10 months non-stop, and as yet, and I hope it will never happen, we have not deprived any person of an intensive care bed. We have not deprived any person from the care they deserve and need during this pandemic. The reason for all the success is because of the dedication, hard work, and efforts of all the staff in the healthcare, said the minister. The number of coronavirus patients in Oman's ICUs peaked at 220 before declining. As of November 12th, there were 135 patients still in intensive care. The total number of people who so far tested positive for the disease was 119,442, while recoveries amounted to 110,050, reflecting a rate of 92%. 1,326 people have sadly lost their lives due to the disease as of Thursday, and 318 people were still hospitalized due to coronavirus. With Oman's 50th National Day celebrations coming during this pandemic, the Minister of Health has said festivities to mark this have been arranged to avoid large-scale gatherings, as they are among the fastest modes of transmitting the disease. It is true that the coronavirus hijacked a lot of our freedom, both in Oman and worldwide. The plans for the 50th National Day have been tailored in accordance with this pandemic. This is the message from His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq to everybody. People's lives are superior to everything else. He also continued saying that this is one of the most important days in our history, and yet, because of this pandemic, the celebration will be symbolic, the celebration will be mainly virtual, and the reason for this is that the gatherings are considered high risk towards spreading this virus. A new month-long Made in Oman campaign will be launched in stores, supermarkets, and malls across the Sultanate this Monday. Organized by the Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Investment Promotion in partnership with the Authority of Small and Medium Enterprises Development, the Consumer Protection Authority, Madain, and Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry, as well as representatives from the business community, the campaign is designed to support local producers and manufacturers by encouraging consumers across the Sultanate to think and buy local first. Noting the tremendous support received from collaborators and partners in the Made in Oman campaign, Qais bin Mohammed Al Yusuf, Minister of Commerce, Industry and Investment Promotion, said, "We are proud of Omani products and where they have reached in the global market. And it is therefore with immense pride that we launched this campaign as part of the ministry's activities to mark and celebrate the 50th National Day of the Sultanate." With the ultimate objective of encouraging consumers to buy local, Made in Oman will showcase and raise the profile of the wide range of items grown and made in the Sultanate, both by large manufacturers as well as small and medium enterprises, along with the incredible services our great local businesses provide. In doing so, the campaign will inform consumers about the impact buying local has on communities across the country and its importance for us as a nation. He also explained that a key goal of the campaign is to get consumers to see Omani products, Omani produce, and services in a new light, extending beyond talking about GDP and how riyals spent on local pandemic and the decrease in oil prices. Fitch Ratings added in a new report that the increase in the contribution of the private sector in the healthcare has boosted the expansion of this vital sector. The report of Fitch Ratings shows its forecast for medicines market, the expenses of healthcare imports and exports, with the focus on the forecast of growth for medicines market and medical prescriptions having patents. The report also shows the available trade opportunities in the medicines and healthcare sector through the revision and update of the latest trends or data available in the industry, the changes in related regulations, and the major deals, projects, and investments in the sector. It's time for a quick commercial break, but stay tuned as we'll be back right after this commercial break with local news.
Oman's largest online supermarket now has no minimum order limit. From grocery to household items, Rafiq has everything that you want. Enjoy worry-free shopping with over 8,000 products to choose from and get it delivered straight to your doorstep. Rafiq, you order, we deliver.
Welcome back to TTV. You're watching Midday Update. Now continuing with our local stories for the day. Although Diwali is normally a time for celebration, expats living in the Sultanate of Oman say their festivities this year was a low-key affair because of the pandemic. Traditionally, a time for members of the Sultanate's expat community to visit each other and celebrate in their homes, Suresh Mathur, an Indian living in the country, said he did not feel the festive spirit this year. I wished all my family members in India over a WhatsApp video call, but that was the extent of our celebrations here. Normally, my wife and I organize a big Diwali party and call of our friends and relatives in the country home, but this time, the regulations prohibit large gatherings, so it obviously makes no sense to have one. Sweet makers in the country, who often do roaring business during this time of the year, have seen a major decline in customers because of the economic impact due to coronavirus has had on people's spending capabilities. While individual customers do buy a significant amount of sweets, Ali Wajhi, the owner of Bombay Sweets, one of the country's oldest sweet sellers, said corporate orders by companies, which make up the bulk of his sales during Diwali, had fallen sharply. He said that there has been a reduced budget for companies this year, naturally because of the pandemic. Some companies that used to previously place orders for 1,000 Omani riyals, for example, now just spend about 400 to 500 Omani riyals with us, while some have decided to buy cheaper alternatives such as dry fruits or have stopped buying sweets for their clients altogether. We have kept people on standby to make more sweets if needed, but that depends on whether we do good sales over the weekend. We had a good take on Friday and are hoping for better sales in the coming days. But even then, we only expect to move 60 to 75% of the volume we did last year when we sold about 10 tons of sweets. He also added that a lot of the smaller sweet vendors have unfortunately been forced to close their operations because of the pandemic, but because we're such an old name in the country, people still come to us, and that customers that used to go to them now come here. Oman has taken great strides forward in building a resilient economy that provides a good quality of living for its people and will continue to strengthen it in the years to come. Ahead of the country's 50th National Day, the government announced that the country's gross domestic product, known as GDP, had risen from 103.6 million Omani riyals in 1970 to 30 billion Omani riyals in 2018, having gone up to 500,000 riyals under the late His Majesty Sultan Qaboos bin Said bin Taimur. With Oman keen to pursue economic diversification across various sectors of production, non-oil activities accounted for 70% of the GDP at current prices, figures that reflect the extent of attention paid by the modern renaissance that began on July 23, 1970, under the leadership of modern Oman's builder. During the past 5 decades, the Sultanate has witnessed the implementation of large-scale economic projects, the most prominent of which are oil refineries in Muscat, Sohar and Duqm, and heavy and petrochemical projects in Sohar, Sur, Salalah and Duqm. Last year, the gross domestic product for industrial activities reached 5.6 billion Omani riyals, while the GDP for service activities was 14.1 billion Omani riyals. The Sultanate has worked to modernize laws and legislations related to attracting investments. Several laws were issued last year that encourage local and foreign investment, most notably the Foreign Capital Investment Law, which sought to enhance the Sultanate's position as an investment destination. The Public-Private Partnership Law was issued with the aim of encouraging the private sector to invest in infrastructure projects and public services, improving their quality and reducing the cost of establishing and operating them. The medium-term fiscal plan, which is 2020 to 2024, which was blessed by His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq, seeks to achieve financial sustainability and preserve the achievements made during the past 5 decades by reducing the size of the public debt and fiscal deficit, while enhancing the performance of non-oil sectors and increasing their contribution to government revenues. It also aims to increase government revenues from 8.6 billion Omani riyals in 2020 to 12.09 Omani riyals in 2024, while keeping the level of spending throughout the years of the plan as 12.6 billion Omani riyals at the same time, and increasing the proportion of non-oil revenues from 28% in 2020 to 35% in 2024. The Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Investment Promotion has said that the regulatory laws for the intellectual property rights will help in attracting commercial and industrial investments for innovation-based projects. The ministry is looking to create a competitive business environment from the private sector to help the development of the national economy effectively. All indicators are that the transfer of inventions to the stage of industrialization, production, and then marketing will help achieve good financial returns for investors, for inventors, and companies. These factors will contribute in achieving growth even as the ministry makes vigorous efforts for the development of the intellectual property rights sector that supports the capabilities of inventors. In the last 10 months, more than 8,400 trademark and patent applications have been received by the Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Investment Promotion. The number of applications for national and international trademarks and patents submitted to the Intellectual Property Department from the beginning of January to the end of October 2020 was 8,433. Of these applications, 6,188 were for national trademarks, 1,814 for international trademarks, and 431 for national and international patents. It's time for a quick commercial break, but stay tuned as we have more updates coming your way from our international desk.
Oman's largest online supermarket now has no minimum order limit. From grocery to household items, Rafiq has everything that you want. Enjoy worry-free shopping with over 8,000 products to choose from and get it delivered straight to your doorstep. Rafiq, you order, we deliver.
Welcome back to TTV. You're watching Midday Update. And now from our international desk. Ukrainian Prime Minister said that the government's decision to tighten quarantine measures over the weekend is not negotiable and should be implemented throughout the country, the press service of the Cabinet of Ministers of Ukraine reported on Friday. The city mayors do not have the authority to allow or prohibit the government's decisions. Government's decisions are unconditional and should be obeyed by all businesses entities located on the territory of Ukraine. If this is a shopping and entertainment center, then it should be closed during the weekend. The Prime Minister also instructed the heads of regional administrations to coordinate the work of the local police and the State Service for Food Safety and Consumer Protection to inspect business entities. On November 11th, Ukraine decided to introduce a weekend quarantine in the country from November 14th to November 30th. Under the weekend quarantine, mass events with over 20 people, beauty salons, shopping and entertainment facilities will be prohibited from operation on weekends in Ukraine. The United States reported an all-time high of nearly 200,000 coronavirus cases on Thursday, setting a new record for the fifth time in a week, data updated Friday by the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention show. The new daily case count of 196,610 refreshed the previous nationwide record of 143,408 cases set on the previous day, pushing the 7-day average daily increase to a record high of 132,442 cases, according to the latest data by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The United States has recorded more than 10,707,000 cases, with more than 244,100 related deaths as of Friday evening, according to the real-time count kept by Johns Hopkins University. Philippine President on Saturday ordered the creation of an interagency task force to streamline the government's response to regions ravaged by Typhoon Vamco, which has left at least 53 dead. I directed them to streamline to speed up the rehabilitation efforts for those affected by the typhoon, the president said in a televised public address amid efforts to rescue people stranded on rooftops in the northern Luzon provinces. Already, the president said he ordered the dispatch of rescue teams from the military and the Philippine Coast Guard to the flooded region in the northern Philippines to help in the ongoing search and rescue efforts. He said that they will be working round the clock, meaning non-stop. He also said that he will dispatch more helicopters if needed to augment the aerial rescue of people stranded on rooftops since Friday night. Typhoon Vamco barreled through the Philippines' main island of Luzon from Wednesday to Thursday, triggering flash floods and landslides in many regions and leaving at least 53 dead. Flooding caused by the typhoon's rains submerged many regions, turning roads into rivers and trapping thousands of people in homes. People stranded on rooftops turned to social media to seek rescue. Typhoon Vamco, the 21st cyclone to hit the country this year, lashed a big part of Luzon, home to approximately half of the country's 110 million population and 70% of economic activity. In 2009, tropical storm Kitsana dumped a month's worth of rainfall on Metro Manila and nearby areas in 6 hours, triggering the worst flooding in the capital in decades. It killed 464 people. One of the country's worst, Typhoon Haiyan, killed over 7,000 in the central Philippines in November 2013. Located in the Pacific Ring of Fire, the Philippines is among the most disaster-prone countries in the world, including active volcanoes, frequent earthquakes, and an average of 20 typhoons a year, causing floods and landslides. With this news, it's time for a quick commercial break, but stay tuned as we have more updates coming your way from our sports desk.
Oman's largest online supermarket now has no minimum order limit. From grocery to household items, Rafiq has everything that you want. Enjoy worry-free shopping with over 8,000 products to choose from and get it delivered straight to your doorstep. Rafiq, You order, we deliver.
Welcome back to TTV, you're watching Midday Update. And now from our sports desk. The Asian Football Confederation, known as AFC, announced that its competitions committee has approved the dates for the Asian qualifiers for the FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022 and the AFC Asian Cup China 2023. AFC said that in an online meeting chaired by Tran Quoc Tuan, it was agreed that all the Asian qualifiers round 2 matches should be completed by June 15, 2021, with match day 7 and 8 in March 2021 and match day 9 and 10 in June 2021, with the final round of the Asian qualifiers beginning in September 2021. It was agreed in collaboration with FIFA, and the 10 match days of the Asian qualifiers final round should be finished by the end of March 2022, with the Asian and Intercontinental playoffs proposed for the FIFA window May-June in 2022. The Asian playoff for the FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022 is proposed as a single match, AFC said in a statement. Moreover, the AFC U23 Asian Cup 2022 bidding process was also agreed. The tournament was originally scheduled for China PR in 2022 as a preparatory competition ahead of the AFC Asian Cup 2023, but the Chinese Football Association has now informed the AFC they are no longer able to stage the tournament. AFC said that now the committee has agreed that the hosting process for the 2022 and 2024 AFC U23 Asian Cup editions will be reopened to member associations in the West, with the intention of the 2026 tournament again providing preparation for the AFC Asian Cup in 2027. Major League Soccer is targeting an early March start to the 2021 season, despite the uncertainty brought on by the impact of coronavirus pandemic, Deputy Commissioner of MLS Mark Abbott said on Friday. Based on the crowded international calendar next year, we are targeting to start our season in early March as usual, Abbott said. He continued saying that the restrictions on our ability to have fans in our stadiums this year contributed to very significant financial losses. Like all leagues, we are concerned about those restrictions continuing for a second year, and we are continually evaluating how to manage through the impact of the pandemic in 2021. The beginning of March has become the traditional start date for the MLS season. The 2020 season began on February 29 before play was suspended on March 12 due to coronavirus, with teams playing just 2 rounds of games. After resuming it, the MLS is back tournament in July. The truncated regular season continued with severely limited or no fans in attendance. The season will head into playoffs next week and conclude on December 12th. With this news, we have come to the end of the show today, but stay tuned as we will be back again tomorrow at 2 p.m. with more updates and latest news your way. Keep watching TTV.
You've just heard the live feed from the TTV studios on TFM 95.4. Let's talk.